There is a major shift happening in the crypto market, and most people are completely oblivious to this. A lot of people are seeing the red in the market and they feel like crypto is dead and they're getting out of the market. But as we are seeing all this red and blood in the streets, we're seeing the institutions stepping in and they're quietly deploying the system right now in real time. As you can see by this teaser I put up here, this is something we're going to talk about, which is the XRP Solana teaming up. This has been something that's floating around the internet, but what is it? What does this mean? We're going to touch on that. Then on the back end, we're also going to talk about the markets on a macro view. So if you're somebody that's investing into your favorite crypto project, you're getting frustrated because you're hearing nothing but amazing headlines and your favorite influencer is making you feel good and trying to get you excited and keep you on that edge to come back for more, you need to understand their bigger picture. I want to walk you through a couple of stories that's going to help you think about the market in a different light. And I hope that helps you calm down, stay relaxed, and you spend that time educating yourself versus sweating the markets and they're checking the price every 3 minutes. If you're watching price action every 2 minutes, then it's time to take a break from it and go put that energy somewhere else that's going to actually have a better impact on your investments. You'll see what I'm talking about if you stick around for that back end. But let's go ahead and get into it, guys. So the first story, of course, is that teaser, which comes from Solana XRP. And check it out with me here. So this came out on April 15th. We've seen a lot of different hype behind it, but we have Solana posting this. It says XRP, then you see the teaser, of course. Then from Bank XRP, we have XRP and Solana friends, and they're teaching them how to drink the water bottle here, of course. But we also then have Solana responding saying, time to flip the switch. So what does this really mean? So we see this teaser. Is XRP and Solana going to work together? Well, you might be surprised. There's already been a version of this happening since 2025. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, we could stick around for that. I'm about to talk about that. But let's start with a post from Smoke Dog, and he kind of outlays what's going on. It's going to touch on this 2025 situation with Solana XRP. Check it out with me. So from Smoke Dog, and this comes out on April 15th as well. It says, yes, XRP is set to expand its utility across Solana-based DeFi protocols by integrating with Solana. This directly increases XRP's utility, potentially driving organic demand as users wrap more native XRP to access higher yields and trading opportunities. And he says documented, and we pop it open here. This is where he has it underlined and it breaks down exactly what he just now said. But when we think about that, what does that really mean? So is XRP being fully integrated in Solana? Is Solana going to be integrated into XRP? Well, what does this mean? Well, they haven't made an official announcement as far as that goes. As of right now, it's just some hype and speculation to get people excited about the market again. It's just a marketing campaign at this moment. But could that trend to something else? Yeah, absolutely it could. We've seen it done before where they start kind of hinting at things and they kind of tease you for a little bit, then boom, a big announcement later on when they're ready for that announcement. And usually those bigger announcements happen right behind a major event when the market's ready to move. This information that comes out, this is another little tidbit here I'm going to give you for free. When you look at these headlines, they're priming you to get ready to buy later. So when you have the bigger announcement come out, you're going to see that market shift because they know retail is going to come back in when they see that excitement. And let me give you something else to think about. This is going to come from Coinpedia, and this has to do with this announcement with the Solana X we just talked about. It's going to expand on what Smoke Dog just showed us. So check it out here. It says, more than social media banter. In December 2025, Hex Trust partnered with Layer Zero to launch Wrapped XRP on Solana, enabling XRP holders to access DeFi protocols, lending pools, perpetuals, and yield strategies on Solana's network without selling their native tokens. This integration has already attracted over $100 million in liquidity. The cash tags connected added another layer. Nikita Beer's post about X evolving financial data tools drew responses from both Solana and Ripple, suggesting that major crypto ecosystems are paying close attention to how traders and market data infrastructure is evolving on X. So although there's no formal announcement coming from XRP, Solana saying there's any kind of partnership, the idea here when we step back is it's more or less interoperability is becoming more prevalent within this space. And this is what I've been saying for quite some time is stop being tribal about things. These companies do not care about if you're a fan of them or not. They just need you to pump the market. And that's how that relationship should be. You should be excited and know what you're investing in. But at the end of the day, the tribalism and hating on other projects, it doesn't do you any good. Open your mind up and understand that this is a bigger market that multiple chains have to live here. We have to have multiple projects to make this even work. So the tribalism has to stop. And that's something I think XRP and Solana is doing very well here with the banter back and forth. The other piece of this was the cash tag. So if you do have X account and you do have an Apple phone, it's not live on Android from my understanding. I don't have an Android, so I'm not sure, but it's live on Apple and you can use that cash tag. Let me show you what the cash tag does and we'll talk about it in a second. So as we walk through here, check it out. I'll have it right over here. You'll see it bring up. So as you type into your search bar, you can type in the $sign and then whatever project you want. It also can be anything with the stock market, anything you can invest in. And once you type that in, it's going to bring up the price chart. Then you have a live feed of where that price is now. Then you can scroll down and look for just everything related to what you just searched. So what's cool about that is you no longer have to get off of a platform to go look at other information on a different platform. This is something that X was solving, which is a big move for anybody that is an investor because a lot of information comes from the X platform. So if you're interested in finding out about something new that you just now stumble across it, you can just hit that cash tag and it's going to bring in all that information that you need right there in one source, no longer bouncing around the internet, which is a massive move for X. And keep in mind, X payments is coming here soon. There's a lot of talk about it being Solana, XRP. People are even saying Zebek, right? There's a lot of different banter out there, but we'll see what really comes out of it. But X is making some big moves when it comes to being the everything app when it comes to investing. So as we're seeing Solana, XRP giving that banter, we're seeing X develop their platform more. We're still waiting for that Clarity Act. I know this is the one thing everybody talks about. But before we talk about this next story, guys, if you could please hit that like button, it would be very much appreciated. As you guys know, engagement's very much down around crypto YouTube. It's something that's dying off right now because the market is dead. And just to be honest with you guys, there's a lot of time and research and effort that goes into this. I am my own person here. This is a one-man team. Your larger channels usually have a team of people to help with thumbnails, titles, descriptions, and lay out the platform, the editing, which is great for them. That's my goal one day. But here right now, I'm just a solo guy doing it all. So if you could hit the like button if you like this kind of information so I can get some kind of momentum going with it, of course. And if you like this reporting with no hype or hopium, just facts, consider hitting that subscribe button. We would love to have you part of the channel. Now, as we get into the Clarity Act, then beyond that, we're going to talk about how the market moves and how the market shifts. So stay around for that because there's some good information you want to be aware of. Let's get into the next story. It comes from BSCN. It comes out on April 16th, 2026. Check it out with me. It says, Clarity Act nears completion as final issues narrow. JP Morgan's latest report reveals that negotiations on the Clarity Act have narrowed to just 2 to 3 unresolved issues, with one Senate staffer describing the draft as very close per CoinDesk. The landmark legislation is designed to draw clear regulatory lines between the SEC and the CFTC over digital assets oversight. Okay, so now we have JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon saying we're getting closer. We're only 2 to 3 topics off from getting there. And keep in mind, he is on the banker side. That's important information. It's not just because he's Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan. He's also put out through his letter that it's time to adopt blockchain. It's time to adopt crypto. It's time to turn it on. And now he's talking about we're getting closer. We're 2 to 3, agendas out or topics out from agreement. This is a perfectly timed sequence, in my opinion. Because when we look at how the market flows and how our government operates, keep in mind our government operates on a different timeline than we do. When we look at quarters like Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, let me give you a post that I put on X and I also posted on YouTube as well, just so I can bring this information to people quicker. But I want to walk through this so you have a better understanding of how your government, if you're in the United States, how your government is on a different quarter than us. They're ahead of us. So their focus is a little bit different than us. And this is why I say there's going to always be a lag effect in the market. And one of the reasons is this right here. So check it out. I put this out on April 15th, 2026. And you're always welcome, of course, to follow me on X if you want to do that as well. Anyways, let's get back into it. Check it out. It says, as you're looking at the crypto markets and wondering about the Clarity Act, keep this in mind. The U.S. federal government's fiscal year runs from October to September 30th of the following calendar year. Fiscal year 2026 began on October 1st, 2025, and will end on September 30th, 2026. Its quarters break down as follows. Q1 is October through December 31st, 2025. Q2 is January 1st through March 31st, 2026. This is where we're at now. We're in Q3 of April through June 30th, 2026. So our government is in their Q3. Their Q4 is moving July 1st through September 30th. Your government is in Q3 of the year, moving into Q4. Q3 and Q4 is typically where all the action, or all the actual work gets done. That's a stretch. It's the government we're talking about. After Q4, they get a well-undeserved break, which leads into Q1 in October 2026. If we're going to see any excitement in the markets, it is likely to be Q3 or back end of Q1 leading into Q2 2027. Okay, so now that we have an understanding of how your government fiscal year works and how they're operating in different times and how that lag effect eventually will catch up, let's apply that to the total crypto market from the daily look. And we're going to walk through a couple of examples. And keep in mind, I'm not saying this is the only thing that impacts the market. No, I'm not that crazy to say that. But what I am saying is just take a look at that and look at what they're doing, not what they're saying, and look at the events that kind of unfold during these very critical time frames, right? There's always a correlation. It seems like different things impact the market, but the correlation is still there on an underlying layer. I just want to make that clear. So check out the screen with me. This is coming from TradingView on the daily, and I want to walk through a couple of things here. So check it out with me. We have over here this first drop here. This bar that you're seeing right here is that drop of April in 2025 when we bottomed out. This is when all those tariffs hit originally. People were coming off this euphoria. If you were around for this time, 2024, leading in 2025, Trump was announced as president. People got excited. He's the crypto president, blah, blah, blah. And then we dropped off drastically when he announced these tariffs. And that's in April. Then after April, keep in mind, after April, Q3, this is the government here. We're pumping through their entire market here. Then Q1, we drop off again for them. Now we're at the same spot. We're actually now getting back into a higher trading right here above the lowest of April of 2025. We're now breaking above that trend line. So could we be seeing this take off again as we're pumping into May and June? So keep in mind back here from April, we pumped until May and June, and we actually took off beyond that going into August, which was crazy to see at this time. And then that right there from from April over here to the highest in October, we actually pumped $1.8 trillion into the market, which was a 75.3% increase. But on the other side of it here, from the highest down to the lows, we actually saw a negative $2.8 trillion, which was a negative 49.33% drop. And that was in a smaller amount of time. And then we kind of apply that same thought back here as we move over to April. Here we go, pumping again, right? We're pumping again in March. We're getting excited again. And then April drop off, and then June spike up, and then we play it out. So what I'm trying to say here is watch what the government's fiscal year is. They have key quarters that a lot of work gets done, and the other quarters there's a lot of prep work and timing and planning that gets done. And we can see that in the market. They kind of mirror each other to a degree. So when we look at the government being in Q3 we're at now, and we're looking going through June, I feel like we could see some excitement in the market just based off the historical trends of this. And again, this is no way a price prediction. This is just something I'm kind of looking at and keeping my eyes on. And we're looking at the fact that the Strait of Hormuz is opening up again. We're seeing tensions ease around the world right now. We're seeing the Bretton Woods, IMF, World Bank all here for meetings, summits this week of April 13th, 2026. We're seeing the Clarity Act getting closer. There's a lot of momentum building. There's a lot of steam being built up right now. Every price chart, every price action is coiled up right now. Every project's coiled up is what I meant to say. So we're seeing a lot of tension being built. And I feel like we're about to see a spring. To which degree that spring's going to rise, I don't know. And when does it happen, I don't know. But we do see a lot of pressure being built, and that pressure is going to have to explode at some point. And my just guessing here, not financial advice by any means, I wouldn't be surprised to see any kind of excitement happening through June, and then again on the back end of the year going into what the government would have Q2, January, etc. That pressure building up the back of their Q1 going into Q2, meaning, November through February timeframe again. something to keep an eye out on. I could be completely off on this, guys, but we are seeing adoption happen in the markets. We are seeing the institutions come in. We are seeing legal clarity coming around. We're seeing the legacy banks stepping in. There's so much happening that it's too easy to get lost in the news cycles and get lost in the negative of the price charts. That this is why I keep on saying, just please stay calm, stay educated, look at information that's going to actually better your investments and give yourself more education instead of frustrating yourself on price action. I hope that makes sense. I hope this information helped. If it did help, hit that like button, leave a comment down below. Consider subscribing to the channel. We would love to have you part of this channel. Before I let you go though, guys, take care of yourself, take care of the people around you, become that change you want to see in the world. Thank you guys for hanging out. I'll see you on the next one.